flip, hit the right one. That's that we got the right one. All them niggas, I got the right one. All them hoes, I got the right one. Hot situation is the tight one. What you gonna do? Fight or run? Seems to me that they be holding big.
I understand that, by the way, happy 2016. I understand that me doing the videos on the fighters, me covering the fights, me sitting here watching fights as a fan and doing my videos afterwards are the bread, like it's the bread and butter. But see, I've already crossed the threshold of media. But let me start off with my announcement first. It's T-Street Controversy Live. I cover every single major fight live, and now what I'm going to be doing is something I should have did or should have been doing a long time ago. When it comes to the Showbox cards, I'm going to be covering them. When it comes to those PBC Toe-to-Toe Tuesday cards, I'm going to be covering them. When it comes to the True TV cards, I'm going to be covering them. So I'm going to be covering more boxing than I've ever covered before, I guess I could say. The most videos I ever done in 1 week was 55. So what I want is, in 2015, I went to a fight every 4 months, 4 fights. In 2016, I want to go to a fight every month. So I had to, like, there was a lot of things that was going on in my personal life that I had to take care of. And I said, you know what? I never made a New Year's resolutions before. I never was one of them people. But I said, you know what? I'm going to clear up all this bullshit I got going on in my life. And when it comes to 2016, I'm going to cover boxing. Now, I've covered boxing, but see, now what it is, for example, next week, I'm going to be in New York for Deontay Wilder coverage. So I'm going to get you an interview with Deontay Wilder. I'm going to get you an interview with Artur Szpilka. I'm going to get you an interview with heavyweight contender Charles Martin. I'm going to get you an interview with Zara Glaskov, Nassim Richardson. Then Danny Garcia is having a media workout next week. And right now it's January 8th, 2016. And basically, also, while I'm doing all that shit next week, I'm going to be covering that PBC toe-to-toe card where I'm actually going to sit back on a Tuesday, you know, after I get back from New York, and I actually watch the fight and cover the card because I feel, you know, something like I feel I got like a little bit of lightning in the bottle, because if I start covering these lower level fighters, you know, and just continuously keep covering them, by the time they become world champions or whatever the case may be, I can say I covered this fighter from when he was down here to, you know. But long story short, I want to cover more fights. I want to get back to the roots of things. And, you know, I said, let me take this time off. It's no rush. Let me get, you know, instead of doing the videos under just the circumstances I was doing them, where I'm just doing them and I'm just like, I gotta get these videos out of the way. You know, I said, let me take my time off and get all my shit together and then come back fresh and reload it. So what I want to do is, I understand that there's people that say, you know, you don't need to do the media calls. You don't need to do the media workouts and all that. Just go back to the way things used to be. Well, it's kind of hard because, remember, I was a reporter at one point in time. I was some vigilante guy out there fighting for boxing justice. And I used to say shit like, oh, this fighter's a bitch because he won't fight him and he won't do this and all that. But it's kind of, I can't be doing that, especially when there's a chance I'm going to be interviewing or meeting these fighters one day. What kind of shit is that for me to say, oh, he's a bitch, he ain't fighting him because of this and that and this and that. And then I'm in his face like, so such and such, you know, it just doesn't make sense. So I understand there's people that want me to go back to being the T-Street I was and say, oh, he's ducking him and this motherfucker this and this. It's those days. There's going to be times where I'm going to be pissed off. For example, when Chavez Jr. lost to Fanfara, I almost cried on camera. It still hurts me a little bit seeing him lose like that. I don't know, I'm a big Chavez Jr. fan. But there's going to be times where you're going to see me really genuinely showing emotion for a fight, because when I'm watching a fight and some crazy shit happens, I got to go up here and do a video live if somebody gets robbed, if somebody gets knocked out, if it's a major upset, you're getting natural reactions. My videos are unedited and uncut. So those times are going to be there where when I'm actually going to just be snapping out and all that. But now, you know, like I got goals. We're in 2016 now. I'm 32 years old. I remember when people used to say, oh, this guy's always in the house. He don't get to no fights. He needs to get to one fight. And then look, you know, don't get it twisted. When it came to Mayweather versus Pacquiao, I made sure that no matter what, you know, and I put myself and I put my channel in jeopardy, but I made sure I brought you closer to the fight than any other YouTube channel out there. I had exclusive promos, all that, and I still can use them. But at the same time, like, that's not what I'm going for. Like, okay, put it this way. My dream scenario is going to come together next week. I don't know for sure if I'm covering Wilder versus Spielka. I'll know for sure within the next 48 hours or so. So my ultimate goal is I want to be able to bring you full coverage. So I want to be able to do the videos that I do, but also be able to, you know, ask questions and raise questions in my prediction videos, and then meet the boxers and ask them the same questions that we've been talking about in the videos. For example, when I meet Deontay Wilder, I'm going to say, yo, you know, I'm not going to say yo like that, but I'm going to be like, so what's going on with the Alexander Povetkin situation? You know, those are the questions that I have to ask, because those are the questions that I raise in my videos. So will you fight Tyson Fury in 20, like if you beat Spielka and you beat Alexander Povetkin, will you use that voluntary to try to unify with Tyson Fury, or will you fight somebody else in the WBC top 15 again? Like, those are the questions I want to make sure that when I cover a fight, I'm asking. So I got plans for 2016. It's hard because before I used to be able to come on here and talk about my plans in detail and everything like that. But then what I noticed was I was educating a lot of other YouTube channels out there. And then people just started basically just moving forward with my plans that I announced, you know, and then just, you know, it just was craziness. It just was craziness. But anyway, we're back. We're on a full schedule. As I said, you're going to be seeing a lot more boxing. I took some time off. I needed the time off. I had a rough 2015. You're going to start seeing more boxing content. Also, you're going to start seeing, you know, like it should have been more videos from me as the way it should have been. I mean, I wasn't on Facebook. I wasn't on like social media, no, nothing. I completely just, but you know, to basically, talk about what I'm going to be doing in more detail when it comes to fighters like Omar Douglas, you know, fights. I'm going to cover more of those, like fighters like that. Eric Hunter fights. I'm going to cover Oscar Valdez, Ronnie Rios fights. You know, I'm going to, like, when it comes, like, if there's a boxing card on, and I'm going to put down the challenge. If there's a boxing card on, you know, I'm going to be watching it and I'm going to be doing videos, even if they're just 2 minutes long. I'm going to say such and such, Erickson Lubin beating such and such, and you know, he's moving up in the ranks. I'm going to give you little bits of news on, you know, where the fighter's going, what path is he on? Is he on the WBC, the WBO, the IBF, the WBA path? I'm going to talk about all that. So when it comes to up and coming prospects, you know, I'm going to be watching all those pre-qualifying Olympic semi-trials. I'm dead ass serious, but you know, hold me to it. So starting next week with that, I forgot who was fighting, and those press releases I get are going to come in real handy to know who these fighters are. So you'll see. I don't want to sit here and ramble, because now, since I'm back, I got a lot of the videos that I need to be doing, you know, because people started harassing me. I've been reading so many, like, I've been reading all the comments and everything, people saying shit like, oh yeah, he fell off, and what happened to this, and this guy, he used to be in 2013, and all that. I see everything, and I'm thinking, if you only knew that I really have a plan, like, look at what, like, when it comes to what was going on in 2014, to what's going on, to what went on in 2015, total 360. You know, before y'all was saying he would never get to the fights. He would never get close to the fighters. Now, myself along with my team, we got interviews with everybody last year. We got interviews even if it's not at the consistency of a Fight Hub or ESN or Fight Hype or whatever. We got Robert Guerrero, Keith Thurman, Deontay Wilder. We got Mayweather. We got Pacquiao. We got Miguel Cotto. Shout out to Chris Alexander, Jason Gonzalez. You know, we got I can't even. We got every Tyson Fury. Shout out to Be Real TV. You know, so a lot of you know, you're not giving me the respect I deserve. I did a lot. There was a lot of work, a lot of nights up, a lot of editing of videos. You know, and well, what I learned in 2015, going in 2016 in a better state of mind, going into 2016 and covering these fights, like, you know, getting back to the roots of doing the videos the way I was doing them. You know, now it's kind of easy to me. I know what needs to be done. You know, I know the tools that are needed. Now it's all about acquiring the tools. So, you know, 2016 is, you know, off to a good start. I have to say that. Off to a good start, especially since I'm starting off the year going to a fight. And like I said, I'm going to keep up. I'm going to keep a nice balance of me making sure I do my videos, the bread and butter, making sure I talk to the fans. And also Google Hangout is going to be returning in February. And it's going to be 3 weeks out of the month. I'm coming up with a whole plan. Then in March, the website is launching. There's a lot of shit going on. Like, you know, I feel good. 2016 is going to be big. That's all I got to say. You know, I'm actually excited for it. It's been a long time since I actually been this excited about my brand. It's hard. It's crazy to say, you know, but I'm going to start reaching out to people. There's some people I need to talk to that I've been ducking, you know, because I've just been really trying to get my head together. So T-Street Controversy. This is T-Street Controversy Live, and I cover every single major fight live, and I'm glad to be back. Please subscribe.